Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky. And tonight we are broadcasting through the Things Network. So I hope you've all had a good weekend. I hope you're all doing fine and dandy out there. And this week we are going to be talking about, which is a pet peeve of mine. In actual fact, it really does grind my gears, as I was someone said. It is property destruction. Property destruction by paranormal groups and what do they call them? Urban explorers and the likes. Just want to say good evening to Annette. How are you, Annette? I hope you're doing well.
Evening.
And I'm just going to go around the clock and make sure that everybody's fine. Everybody's had a good week. Jay, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Busy, tired.
You had a good week, though?
Yeah, just been busy.
Working. No. All work and no play makes Jay a dog fucker. Pardon my French. Eric, how have you been?
Good.
I'll wait for you to take a drink then, and then I ask you. Have you had a good week? Have you had a good week, young Eric?
Yeah, I've had a good weekend. It was, like I said, slow. I got a lot of yard work done.
Oh, cool. Excellent. So you've had a busy week then?
Well, not only did they tear down my garage, they also tore out my fence too. So I got all that.
They tear your fence?
Yep.
Why?
Because it was rotting and getting bad, and I didn't want it there anymore.
Okay. So you've had a busy week then?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. But you profit from it. You've seen change, which is good.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go to young Vivian, our leader. Hello, young Viv. How are you?
I'm all right.
Have you had a good week?
I had a drunken end to the week.
Yes, I heard all about that.
Yeah.
Lush was one of the words that was being bandied about.
Lush.
What?
Lush.
Lush.
I just can't hold my drink, that's all.
Oh, no.
Lightweight.
Oh, so you said.
Larry, we're going to call you Larry Lightweight from now on.
Yes.
It's better than sick note.
Alcoholic.
Better than sick note.
Alcoholic. Sick note's a good one. I like that.
How have you been, Dan?
It's gonna boil, Rita. It's gonna boil. I've been very good, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been an uneventful week, but those are the type of weeks I like, to be honest with you. So
you went something quite interesting at the weekend, though, didn't you? You visited a nice place.
You went to that house?
Yeah, I went to Rest Park. I go there quite often when I'm sort of slow to do anything, when there's not a lot going on.
Well, that's not
to make yourself to Rest Park. Yes, Vivian did get drunk. Paralytic, I think you'll find the word is, William.
No, I had 2 gin and tonics, or gin and lemonade actually, and that was it. I was gone.
You were gone. It was a lemonade that did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the lemonade.
Lemonade. You got to stuff that lemonade. It's the devil's own concoction. And William says that he missed it. You did miss it. Yeah, I'll wait for my hair to grow, then it'll cover them.
Oh dear.
So yeah, a bit of an uneventful week, which is the type of weeks I like. So good. Now we're down a roundup. Viv, would you like to start?
We need to wish Irene a get well soon.
Hiya, Roger.
Hi, Roger. Irene in Japan's not been very well. So
no, our Irene is not.
Yeah, so we wish her a very speedy recovery.
Yeah, we do. We wish you all the best, Irene.
Yeah.
Get well soon, and get back to be fighting fit. And hopefully, we will see you on her at some point soon.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right, Annette. You are best giving that lemonade give it a miss. Dodgy stuff, that lemonade.
Did look a bit dodgy when she put it in the glass.
So, Viv, do you want to start?
Yes, so we're talking about, what are we talking about? Property destruction.
We're talking about property destruction, yeah.
So, yes, what can I say? I can see it from 2 sides. And the reason I can see it from 2 sides is because I have a family member that buys up property, does them up, and sells it to make a fast buck. But he also buys things like hotels and other buildings. It's a way of making fast money. And he bought a property, didn't even go and see it, bought it at an auction, grade 1 listed, grade 2 listed. The thing was falling apart anyway. He thought he could do it up because of the land that came with it and move it on. No, didn't look like that. Didn't realise what was involved with a Grade 2 listed building. So what happened was the builders in, put a fence around it, private property, keep out, and then to rot. He's hoping that people will come in there and set fire to it, so then he's got them. As far as I know, so that was years and years ago, that it's still standing somewhere and just falling apart. So I can understand that side of it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's bad because it's part of our heritage, part of our history, being on the property. But honestly, this isn't nothing great or to write home about. It's just got some items in there, like the fireplace, I think was Grade 2 listed. There was something else in there that they slapped an order on. Anyway, so yeah, he was hoping it was all going to just, people would vandalise it, set it on fire, and then he's got the land to build whatever he wants on it. So that's that side of it. But on the flip side, for investigators to go on to any property, regardless of where it is, I get very, not upset because that's the wrong word, because if the property was that valuable, or I don't believe that they put security guards in to protect people's well-being from falling through floors and things like that. I don't think that exists. I think it's all to do with the moolah and the plans that they've got going ahead for it. So if people are breaking into those properties, yes, I have an issue. If people are doing deliberate damage to those properties, yes, I have an issue. But on another side of the coin, this is a three-sided coin, I know of someone, we all paid to go on an investigation, hired the place. I didn't go. This came from one of my good mates that I know and trust 100%. And she witnessed somebody who wasn't feeling very well throw up all over the floor in this museum. Beautiful museum it is. And then she didn't go and clear it up. She then got her foot and tried to scrape it into the carpet.
Oh,
to me, that is still property destruction.
Yep.
Right? We have public liability insurance for a reason. Now, I don't know about any other groups, but when I run my group, we had our public liability insurance in place. We make everyone sign a disclaimer, and on that disclaimer is what we expect from our investigators. Now, if they break an item, whether it's accidental or they mean to do it, that person will be paying for that item that's broken. I'm hoping to God that it never happens where somebody breaks something worth millions, because a lot of insurances and investigators will only insure themselves to up to 3 million because they don't want to pay the higher premium. I'm quite lucky because Dan and I, and when I've done insurance, it's up to 10 million. And when I do Paracons, believe it or not, my insurance is up to 140 million.
Wow.
And the reason it goes so high is because I have to then take a duty of care for the public that are coming into my investigations, or to sit and listen to people talking, or they might get affected, or their children might get upset, and all this sort of thing. So we have to set the bar so high because we have a duty of care for the public, which also comes under the destruction thing, in my eyes. But yeah, I mean, how many people I've heard of investigators that go and hire a building or a museum or some great place, do their investigation and leave so much shit for the people that go and open up in the morning to clear up before they can even open to the public.
Yeah, it's not fair.
I've seen investigators go and investigate some really amazing places and have graffitied. Ridiculous. So, and all of this is destruction of a property, because they might be writing graffiti on, they think is a bench that's worth nothing. That bench might be 200 or 300 or 400 years old, you know, and then it has to go to experts to try and French polish this thing out. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, I have a big gripe with people and property destruction. I'm all for, don't get me wrong, I'm all for people going and investigating these places, because I mean 9 times out of 10, if you find a place that's been derelict, there'll be somebody homeless sleeping in there. As I came across, I was doing an EVP and calling out, and I was getting somebody shouting the answers back again, and it was a homeless man that was sleeping there for the night. You know, we asked him, have you eaten? Do you want us to go and get you something? And he was good. And then we left him be, you know, to get his rest. And
that's how you met me.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, they have to sleep somewhere. You know, they have a right to be there as much as we have, but they have a right to have a life and peace and quiet and have their sleep or whatever. So, you know, we did a duty of asking him, are you okay? Have you got enough to eat and drink? Do you want us to get anything before we move on? And he was ever so grateful that we asked him, but he was fine. He'd just eaten. So yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's my rant over.
No, I agree with you. I think for me personally, I agree with everything you've said. Some of those properties are clearly left there because it's the intent to want them destroyed so that they can then access the land that the property's on, because the property in itself isn't worth a lot, is it? It's generally the land that it's on.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But again, like you, I don't like people going in. It drives me mental, and I've seen it on occasion when people spill drinks and stuff like that, and they don't tidy up after themselves, or as you say, they'll kick stuff under a seat or what have you, and it just annoys me. And the thing is, particularly with historical items, because once those have gone, they've gone.
Yeah.
You ain't getting that back. That's gone. You've lost a big part of the tapestry of who you are, you know, your history and in your culture, and that really pisses me off. I also get annoyed where, now I'm not saying they're all like it, because there are quite a few out there that are urban explorers that are respectful of the properties they go into, and they willingly will not tell you where they are. And I understand that, and I agree with that, because they don't want other people going in there and wrecking it. But invariably, somebody will find out, and then what happens is people go in there and intentionally just wreck it. Now, the thing that annoys me with that, particularly like little houses or you know, properties that are locked up because with all the contents inside, because generally what that means is that that's gone to probate. Somebody's either passed on, the family are not around, but it's going to, you know, deciding who it should go to and where it should go. And of course, that's fine. Stuff like that should be left alone. But when they get in there and they wreck it, it's not worth the paper it's written on, you know. And it is a willing thing that they go in there and they smash these properties up, they disrespect them, they destroy them, and it not only makes me angry, but it makes me want to cry a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for a prime example, we've got a building here where I live, and a lot of the buildings here are ancient, but they are all over Great Britain. But a lot of the buildings here are particularly great, they're particularly old. And there's one that's getting on for, it must be 900 years old now, and it sits in the town. And it became an old antique centre, and it was once, believe it or not, it was once a hub for a paranormal group and a guy that wrote books on the paranormal. And he had outside it Elizabethan wooden carvings. Somebody came along one night and just put a chainsaw to it and cut the head off. And they had to then try and stood there for God knows how many centuries. Some dickhead comes along, pissed up with a chainsaw, decides to make a mess of it. This is what gets on. It's chipping away at your history, your culture. It's chipping away at the essence of who you are and what the country is. And it just pisses me off. And to be honest with you, the next time I think I see somebody disrespecting a property that we're investigating, I will freaking punch him. You know, I'm very peaceful, and I'm laid back and I'm passive. But you mess with the history of a place, and that really does wind me up. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
Well, that makes me mad too, especially like you said, like in your country and in Scotland with buildings that are ancient, almost 1,000 years old, and going in there and writing graffiti on the wall, finding stuff. I mean, come on, seriously.
It is frustrating. It is. But I mean, you got some properties over there that go back to the century.
Our properties are only like a few hundred years old at the most. but still, I mean, only that's that. For a couple of years, we had people taking down our historic statue at such much against that, like slavery, stuff like that. I can understand, against stupid, but that's history, you know.
Are we having trouble with the mics there, Viv?
Parker, can you turn your volume down a bit, please? See if that works.
Is that all right?
Me.
Yeah, try
No,
now, Eric.
Is that better?
Yeah, much.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Eric. I agree with you. But you've got history there. If it goes back 300-400 years, it's still that's a chunk of history,
Yeah,
and even sort of native history. You don't want people spray canning over that, because it's still the history of the continent or the country.
look at what was the latest one? It was a couple years ago. I think General Custer's statue in the South got tore down because somebody had a problem with it.
Do you know what? Whether history's ugly or whether it's beautiful, it's history, isn't it? You're not going to change it by pulling it down.
Yeah.
Right?
You're going to. What's going to happen there is you're going to forget the reasons why those statues are there, and you're going to forget the history that those people. So therefore, you're in danger of repeating stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
What about you, Joe? What do you think?
Just like yourself, really, like people disrespecting stuff and not. Because when I always go to investigation, it's just I always treat it like it's my own. If that makes sense. You know, because then I wouldn't want someone to go around and trash it, and it's like, well, we've come here like paying guests, so I'm going to treat it like my own. And it's like when you see like other groups there and stuff like that, they're outside having a smoke. Yes, I do smoke, but I put them in a pile in a corner, and then I take them away. I just don't leave them there to. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of that. Just be respectful, and like just pretty much what you guys said, really. It's like you just got to just dedicate what you're doing through the night, and then go along and just carry on. Do you know what I mean?
Hey,
Hi, you Cliff.
it was Cliff's birthday yesterday.
Hello.
Was it?
Yep, it was Cliff's birthday yesterday.
Let's do it.
Yes, it was. Yes, I probably like
Let's
happy
do it.
birthday on there.
Let's do it. Let's sing.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday
to
to
Cliff.
you.
Happy birthday to Cliff. Happy birthday, dear Cliff. Happy birthday to you. Many more.
Lois isn't on tonight. She's having a night off.
Hi, Lo.
Busy, but lots of love to our Lo.
Chill, Lo, chill. Thank you, Lo.
Hi,
Sarah.
Nicola's in the house, everybody.
Nicola in the house. Hi, Nicola.
Rabsy Nesbitt's
Hello,
in the
Robert.
house.
Hope you're doing well, bud.
I love Rob. I'm calling him Rabsy Nesbitt.
I love your spell. Surely you can blink and tell. Ooh. Hello, Robert. We have that air-listed building's great one working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awful, that is.
I have a real problem with building owners who practice demolition. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, and so it should be, William. So it should be. I might do, but I think they might punch me back. What I'll do is I'll get somebody to hold my shirt and go, "You're lucky I'm being held back. You're lucky I'm being held back."
Beat him with a stick.
Yeah. 108 years old is not bad, It's pretty. Right. That's old. It's quite old, though.
Yeah. He loves our singing.
Yeah. So that's I think we're our stance on it, isn't it? That's where we're.
But you know what? I've investigated a fort. I'm not going to say where it is, but basically, and me and Dan went to a church, and there was graffiti in the church, but it was old historic graffiti that was out of this world, mind blowing and amazing. Dan didn't want to go and have a look at it, but I did, and some of it came from the First and Second World Wars.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What was that?
so-
Sorry, I got distracted by Chantel there. She did a little ditty.
Was she doing a ditty for you?
She's done a
Dan?
ditty for me.
Go on.
Uncle Dan, he's the man. He's my biggest fan. This Wolfman can freestyle like nobody can. He blows up my ego like an industrial fan. Yeah, I suck at this. You did very well, Chantel. Far better than myself. Thank you. Love it.
Hi, Bri.
Evening, young
Bri.
Bri.
Hope you're well, Bri.
And he even wishes Cliff a happy belated. Hope you're doing well, young Bri.
Yeah, so seeing some of the older graffiti, but it's historical graffiti, and we don't need to add to it. You know, there's just no need.
No. I agree. I mean, I don't. You know, it's kind of like Stonehenge. I don't agree with the fact that it's cordoned off and the public aren't allowed near it because it is rightfully belonged to the public.
Yeah.
But by the same token, over the centuries, people have just abused that site. So in a way, you know, it needs to be done for protection of the site. You know, because if they don't do that, you don't know what's going to happen, who's going to get in there, who's going to wreck it. So it's kind of custodial, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not ours, is it? It belongs to everybody.
Well,
you know?
what I think is the worst thing I saw was in Scotland. There's this nice little church, abandoned, out far in the corner, but people are throwing their garbage in there.
Oh.
You don't do that.
No.
No, we see a lot of that.
This is sort of property destruction in a way, but on a sicker level.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know me and Dan have mentioned this before, but I want to talk about these urban explorers that go and do these woods and things like that. And there was a young gentleman that had recently committed suicide, and he was hanging.
Oh yeah,
So the property destruction, and what I find, it's sick what they did anyway. Who in their right mind would do that? Because the first thing I would be doing if I was with Dan, stay there. Like, if I haven't got a signal on my phone, Dan, stay there. I'm going to run, get help, or get to a spot where I can dial 999.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that would have been our reaction. But these people, and this is what really annoyed me, and it's sort of property destruction. Okay, they didn't film his face. They filmed his legs and his feet. And then they filmed the suicide letter. And they read it. They read it live, on a live. They read it. The pair of them, I don't know who they were, but a girlfriend and boyfriend, husband and wife, they were quite young. They read it live, on a live. And I watched it because I was in disbelief of what I was seeing.
Yep.
This letter was to his mother. Not only was it sick, that is kind of a property destruction. It's touching stuff, evidence, whatever, because there could have been foul play involved. You don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if they're against the law.
It is against the law.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And I hope to God that they were given a reprimand or something, because I think that live was eventually taken down. Forced to, most probably. But it's like common sense and people just seems to go away.
Yeah.
I mean, and it gives this field such a bad name. Even the Urbex Explorers, there are some really decent ones out there.
Yep.
Really decent ones. But there are these ones that just do it for TikTok lives, followers, and the Wonga. And I really think
you know what, though? A thing that annoys me as well is along the same lines as you were talking about is these people that paranormal investigators. I've seen a few of them, I don't know, maybe from the States, maybe one or two from over here, take a flight to Japan to the suicide forest.
Oh.
Yeah. Do ghost hunting. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, why are you doing that? It's the most disrespectful thing that you could ever do. What makes you think that it's decent to go and do something like that?
Don't they do tours in it? That there's one guy that lives right next to it that gives tours into the suicide forest, but he won't take you right in. He only takes you to a certain part of it, and it's turn around and come back again.
I think it's literally a car park, and the car park's there, and you step through the car park, and you're in the forest. I think it's that close to it. But it's just, I don't understand that, you know. I don't know. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. Stonehenge is roped off, not protect the stones, but also the archaeology will bury the ropes and move frequently during the day on the ground. Yes. Yeah. There's still an awful lot of that has not been excavated.
Yeah.
And then we've got Woodhenge. Woodhenge as well, just up the road, haven't we?
Old Woodhenge is amazing. In fact, I think Woodhenge is far more spectacular than Stonehenge.
I was watching a guy that did a documentary. He was an archaeologist, big guy, and he was saying that Woodhenge, it was like they would walk through. It was different sectors. They'd walk through on their way to Stonehenge. Yeah, really interesting.
Just
really
amazing it is, yeah. Right. They're screwed in the head these days. They stand back, take pictures of incidents, then put it on social media.
Do you know what? Something happened today. I was watching this guy who I watch a lot, Thomas Sheridan, Irish fella. And he does folklore, he's a pagan, he does all this type of thing. And he made a very good point. And he said that everything's changed since 2011.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he said not just the way that it's like he was saying the psyche of what happened, the pure enormity of the psychic shift that happened when that action was taken. It's almost like it's pushed us from one reality into another. So we're kind of fractured. So it's like now that we're living in an alternate reality. It's gradually coming back to the way it should be. But what happened there had actually pushed the psyche completely out, which is why the world seems so weird and out of context for most people's perception of it today. You know? Was it 2011? No, when was the Twin Towers?
2001.
Yeah,
2001. Sorry, 2001. And he was saying that it's almost like the enormity of that created a power shift, a psyche shift. And that's why people aren't relating to the way the world is today, because it's not as it was.
I say this with respect, Scott, but you are a retard, aren't you?
That's what my dad was Irish. My dad used to say it was an Irish getaway bike.
God, you lot.
Uh-oh, Parker disappeared.
He'll be back.
Sorry, William, it's my fault. I'm completely wrong year. I don't know why it's 2011.
So, I think as well, like, some of these people and the youngsters that go out, they have no common sense. Like, some of them can't even get up in the morning, brush their teeth, brush their hair, and get dressed without help or being told to do so.
No.
Yeah, look at you. We have to keep Parker in control all of the time.
Do you know what frightens me about Parker?
Go on.
15, 20 years ago, they wouldn't have given him they wouldn't let him collect trolleys, but now they've given him keys.
Oh, God, poor Parker.
It's true. You know what? I sound like I'm not ancient. I'm old, but I'm not ancient. And I'm like, yeah, they are. It is completely screwed. Hey, hi, Ryan.
All right.
He's our guest tomorrow, Ryan.
He is. Looking forward to speaking to Ryan. I haven't spoken to him for a long while.
No.
Yeah.
It's been long, Ryan.
Let's see what he's been getting up to.
I am going for dinner.
Are you?
You are?
Have you got a dinner date?
I've got a date with a microwave, yes.
Ooh, you're not going to beef curtain in then?
No, that was horrible, that.
What,
was it? Beef curtain in?
Yeah, I've got a dinner date with a microwave meal and bed. Well, shower and bed, so.
And some cottage cheese.
Beef curtain in, sausages out.
No, thank you. But yeah, so I've got work in the morning. I've got to be up early in the morning again, so.
Yeah.
What time you got to get up early in the morning? What time you got to get up in the morning?
5.
Ooh.
I've got an early shoot. Well,
do you want to pick? Do you want to pick this before
yeah,
you
we
go?
do, yeah.
Then? So then it'll be your fault. Tell me when to stop.
It's always my fault. Stop.
I've got one.
Ooh.
I wonder
Da,
if
da,
this is-
da, 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 da.
So next week we are going to be talking about
Unity.
Unity. Oh, I can't wait.
Picked the right one, didn't I? There.
There's going to be some discussions about that next week. We're going to have arguments and
I
fights
can't
on there.
wait.
and
I thought we
I
weren't going to
cannot
talk
wait.
about fairy tales.
But yeah, so yeah, I've got to be up early tomorrow, so I'm gonna have a chat night in and bed.
All
Don't
right,
blame
Jay. Love you.
All right.
Love you. Miss you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Take it
care,
easy,
boys.
brother. Speak to
Bye.
you. Speak to you soon. Take it easy,
Be
mate.
safe. Bye.
And you,
Love
bud.
ya. Bye.
Peace
Love you,
out.
mate. Take it
Bye.
easy.
Peace out.
And then there were three.
Thank God he's gone. Let's talk.
Oh, I thought we'd never go.
Let's have a burger.
Oh, Scott. Oh, bless it. Do you know what? He should be on the stage, that guy.
Sweeping up like
Honestly.
me.
Oh, he should be on the stage. I'll tell you what, he's got, no, in all seriousness, you should be doing stage work, stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be brilliant.
Who else? Oh, young Terry.
2 Willies.
What?
Yeah, he's talking about the youth of today.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? It weren't that long ago that I was a youth, well, maybe a bit, but when you look back and you think to yourself, how the world going the way it's going now, this generation, when the older generation have gone, they're going to be knackered.
They can't do
They're
anything.
going to be knackered. They can't do anything unless it involves an iPad or a computer. They're stuffed.
Do you know what? This is a test. Give your kids under the age, well, over the age of reasonable age with a hot iron. But give your kids an iron and tell them to iron a shirt, and you see if they can do it.
When I was a kid, you could stick me in the woods. I could survive to 2 days at least
Yeah.
without worrying about being hungry, starving, or being thirsty. Nowadays, you can't stick a kid there and they can't survive themselves.
No, they can't. They're stuffed. They're stuffed. The world's going to be in trouble. The world. I'm genuinely honest. The
I
world's
agree.
going to be in trouble. The world is going to be in serious trouble. They are though.
Yeah.
It's true. Absolutely true. They don't understand the basics.
Scott.
What are you doing?
Oh, look at that cutie.
Yeah, thanks.
Not you. Not you.
What are you doing?
So can you imagine the type of hauntings we're going to get in years to come when this young lot have passed on? Those new ghost hunters that come through, they're not even going to bother. They're just, honestly,
Yeah.
they're going to think, what the hell? I'm just not going to bother.
No, that's why I think we need some kind of training class, at least the basics,
Yeah. This stuff. I sound like
They
an
wouldn't
old
know how to
Northerner
use the
now.
Walkman. They wouldn't know
I
how to use the
remember.
Walkman.
Hi, Mary. I remember at 16 and even 15, getting up, going to work early hours of the morning, walking miles, then walking miles back, then going out and with your mates and having a drink or having a laugh and doing pictures or whatever. But they don't do that now, do they?
Nope.
When do you ever see kids outside playing on the street nowadays with a
They
phone?
don't. They don't.
Playing
They
curtsies
just
and
don't.
stuff
I think the world's in trouble. I genuinely think the world. Bless you, Mary. Hi, yeah.
I'm old enough to say
The world's
that
in
I
trouble.
had a cell phone when I was a kid, and I played out in the woods all day.
Yeah. The only time I was in was for Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that was over, I was out. That was it. I was off on my bike. I was doing things in the woods or what have you, doing all sorts of bits.
Yeah. Or you had a Saturday job, delivering papers.
Or a Saturday job, yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, don't get me wrong. There's still probably a lot of good kids out there. I'm sure there are. But society as a whole is going to be in trouble. Really, really in trouble.
Okay.
Oh, yes. The crank phone calls we used to make to people. Or the telephone box would ring and you'd happen to be walking past it with your mates. You go in there and answer it.
Blimey, the telly. They still use telephone boxes.
We've got one up here that's a library now.
Oh, yeah.
I know a couple of them have been turned into like heart things, haven't they? Like the paddles and stuff, haven't they? For like heart attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Potato picking.
Yeah, I did that too, actually.
Yeah.
Pokemon, yeah. Oh, do
Yep.
you know what? I haven't played Pokemon for ages.
No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else. When I was a kid, I was terrified of the police.
Yeah, not
They
anymore.
couldn't give them monkeys now.
Thank God I never had that problem.
What, police?
Yeah. You know why? Because I grew up around them.
Well, do you know what? We knew them, and we weren't doing anything wrong, but we were just so wary of them.
No, you turn the crank on the phone to get the operator.
Blimey, yeah, I know the ones. I know the phones.
My first childhood memory is my parents used to visit my godfather in
That's it.
Murphy
Right,
Park.
defibrillators.
You know those rooms they used to take children when they would have problems at home and stuff and interview them? I was playing in one of those rooms.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Even the police aren't the same as they used to be. It's certainly not in this country. They're not in this country.
No, it's like talking of property destruction. It's like sometimes even our police are guilty of some of that property destruction because they wouldn't think twice about bashing in a door, taking off the door frame that might be
No.
400 years old. Do you know what I mean? So again, for whatever reason, I'm not saying that sometimes they're justified, sometimes they're not. You know, it's like people today just do not care. I still care. You know, and I care about our history, and I care that it's there for my grandchildren to enjoy and their grandchildren to enjoy. You know,
When you look at London now, it's a dump.
it is
It's a
now.
dump.
Yeah,
I love London, but I really love London, but it's a dive.
yeah.
It's just crap. You need to take a snow shovel just to get through the crap. Terrible.
For me, because, you know, I want to come as a tourist, not even just a tourist, because I'm going to be living over there. I want to come over there and be able to enjoy all that history. And if it's all crappy, guess what? People aren't going to want to come over.
No.
We'll take you to the places that we know in and around London that the tourists are not
Exactly that,
savvy to,
Cliff.
and you'll enjoy those.
Yeah, I don't want to do touristy things. I want to go.
It's mainly London. It's the dodgy, like there's a crap hole.
But that's why I joined the Archaeological Society of Great Britain to begin with, you know, to be able to go and visit the history and say, hey, I found something that no one else has found. Give this to them, you know, whatever it is.
Do you know there's a lot of archaeology still in England that is missed? And I'll tell you why it's missed. Because they're too busy looking at this over here and they're not looking at this over here. Now, when I was about 14, I used to belong to an archaeological field study group. And because I was 14, I wasn't old enough to go out on the digs with them because I had to be 16. Insurance didn't cover me. So I used to stay behind in the office. They'd bring all the box of stuff over and I'd have to do, my job was washing and marking. So I did the washing and marking. And this guy turns up, one of the big archaeologists, he comes in and he puts this wrought iron. It was about this big. It was a wrought iron clump of stuff that he stubbed his toe on when visiting a church because he just liked going around, walking around churches, and he stubbed his toe on it out in the graves somewhere, and he thought, "What's that?" And because he used to wear sandals because he was a very fashionable man, and so he pulled it out of the ground. It had been raining, you know, the soil washes away. Some of the graves had already started sinking, and he pulled this thing out of the ground and he put it in his pocket, forgot about it. Come to the room to check on us lot that were washing, marking, and sorting, and he put it down in front of me. And he said, "Vivian," he says, "just give that a delicate, you know, cleaning, and I want to have a good look at that." And when I'd cleaned it, he said, bring it over, let's have a look at this together. And as I'm cleaning it, it was a wrought iron or pewter figurine of the devil.
Wow.
Found in a church. And so he's got it under his big, he's got this great big magnifying glass. He's looking at, all this. I'm going to have to go back there and see what else I can find. This is very interesting. I said, how can you get permission to dig up the church? He said, trust me, I know the vicar there. He'll let me do a little bit of what I need to do. He said, but we won't make it public. But this thing was really old, a couple of 100 years old. It was a figurine of the devil put in a church. And he did say to me, I'll never forget it, he said, the devil worshippers come in. He said, or they'll place things and bury things in a church graveyard on consecrated ground, because it was all part of their putting hexes on and wishing evil on people or taking evil away from someone, burying it on consecrated ground. And they would put in little knickknacks like this. And he used to say that he'd have a few little bits and pieces that he kept on a shelf of things that were many hundreds of years old, for things just like that. And I found that really fascinating. And it sort of was part of my paranormal journey, learning little things like that. He even said, like some of the graves, the older graves, he said, you think there's nothing in there? He said, but it's what people put in with the bodies that are interesting.
Yeah.
If they hadn't been sort of messed about with, or, the undertakers taking out what they want. He said people were buried with very ornate items sometimes, not rings and personal things, but other things placed within the coffin. And these coffins were lead lined, some of them. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting. But yeah.
See, I was really lucky as a kid because my brother was an archaeologist. That's what he did for a living. He was an archaeologist historian, and he used to work at London Museum, the one by London Wall. So he used to take me here when I was a kid, sort of 8, 9, and I'd go with him for the day, and I'd just like sit there watching like whatever they were doing and stuff. But his stuff was mainly, he did used to do excavating, but his stuff was mainly studying it in the actual things that came in. So going through the history of it, trying to work out that's the connections and stuff. But yeah, it was interesting. But kids have got no interest in history. No. And I think if you've got no interest in history, you haven't got much of a soul.
No, exactly. Where did you come from?
Yeah, there's that connection. You're not here because you just landed one day.
Yeah. Oh, let's go for the things in the chat. Those old phone boxes are worth a fortune nowadays.
No. It doesn't still have it. It must be, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true too.
Wow. Yeah, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's kids, isn't it?
No, not just kids. It's the local people that just think that's a place where their garbage should go.
Well, didn't they do it with the Wonkies Club in Great Britain? Didn't they recently? That was intentionally burnt, wasn't it?
Set fire, and then bulldozed down before
they could even do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when the Romans were in Scotland, they buried 6 tons of nail in the ground so the Scots wouldn't make weapons. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
There's still 3 treasure chests in
the London Museum
still missing too. So.
Yeah, there's the story of one of the. Do you remember the tale that you might know, Dan, of the 7 swords of the Knights Templar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, vaguely.
And there's one still missing to be found.
Yeah.
So this is like, if you talk to people or kids nowadays of the 7 swords of the Knights Templar, they wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
no.
If you talk to them about King John in England, they'll say, "Who is he?"
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I know. Do you know what I said? Now this is true. We went round to Hazel's friend for dinner once, lunch, and her friend is the head of a school, right?
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Where have you been today? Have you been to a nice Dan?" And I said, "Yeah, I've been into Royston to look at the cave, the Knights Templar cave. You know it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
But he went, okay. What? Who are the Knights Templar?
Boy.
Fucking history teacher, pardon my French. And the head.
Oh my God.
How do you
Cheers.
think the poor kids got no chance, have they?
No,
Do you know what? Unfortunately, William is passed on now. He passed away some years back now.
sorry.
That's
Oh,
right.
it's just, honestly, that's a long story.
Mm.
You've heard about it, haven't you, Eric? The Seven Swords of the Knights
Yep.
Templar.
What's the other one? Yeah, it's
They've written books about it.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. So interesting, the Templars.
And the Templar, the Hospitallers. The Templar,
Yeah.
because they were at Witham, weren't they, in Essex?
Yeah.
Essing Temple Barn is
Yeah.
built. And
This
that
town, Hartford Town, where I live, is actually a Templars town. It was built by Templars.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say on destruction, Dan?
I think it's going to sound horrible, but I think if you go on an investigation and you're caught doing anything like that, your name should be spread around, and you should never be taken out of an investigation again.
Yeah.
If you're caught willfully destroying property, don't get me wrong, accidents happen. We understand that. I'm not saying that. If you willfully go out and destroy property, or you don't respect it when you're on an investigation, then you deserve not to be in those properties.
What about you, Eric? What do you think?
Well, you can imagine some of these like old historic mansions and stuff that had the beautiful woodwork done by artists that have never been heard of before or have been heard of, and people are just destroying it and tearing it down. I mean, save some of that, into somebody that can serve it or something,
Do you know what? I am going to name and shame a TV show.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's a TV show. It was based in England.
Yeah.
And that TV show was called Most Haunted.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that there was a series of, I think they did it over 2 nights where they investigated, and it was put on air, live on air. And I'm surprised that the commissioning bodies allowed it. They strapped a doll to a wooden post on a beam in a very old house that was listed. And what they did was they rigged it up to set itself on fire, because they did this storyline where this doll was so haunted. It was so dangerous. It came in this metal box and only one person handled it, and they put it up. What you see is them putting them up against this beam. Now, at the time, a friend of mine used to let them in, unlock the place so they can go and do their filming, lock it back up, they'd go home. Yada, yada, yada. So this particular doll was rigged up, and on a remote control button, this doll burst into flames. Now, what it did was it scorched all this beamwork that was years old and did damage to the property. And yet they never paid for it. They never replaced it. They never put it right. They just, and to this day, those scorch marks are still on that beam for everyone to see. And I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. These are people that work with the production company, or they were the production company, and the TV networks, who are equally as guilty by putting that out and not checking the content of the program that was going on national TV. I'm sorry, it's disgusting.
They also did one. They did an investigation. I don't think it was a live. It might have been a live. I think it was a live. I'm not sure if it was live or not. I didn't think it was. But they did this investigation. I think that might have been over 2 nights, and it was we were the next team in there after them, and it was 30 East Drive.
Well, yeah.
And there was double doors in there, and the guy said to me, I said, "Where's the double doors?" He went, "Go outside and have a look," because I didn't watch them. I won't watch them. And I said, "Where?" He went, "Go out to where past the coal bit, and go." So I went out there, and these double doors are in bits in the back. So I've gone over, pulled one out, had a look at it. It's smashed to pieces. The glass is gone. And I went, "What happened there?" He went, "One of the Most Haunted team said that they got possessed and pushed through it." But the problem is, they then refuse to pay for the damage.
Absolutely.
So
disgrace.
I know that's more of a modern property, a 1950s property, 60s property, but it's not the point. It's still willful damage of property.
Yeah.
You know, and you just don't do that.
Oh, the Crooked Pub, you mean? Sarah, the Crooked House is in Windsor, in Royal Berkshire, and it is still there. You can still go and visit it. I don't know if it's a shop now or what they use it for, but have a look at the Crooked House. It's very crooked. I wouldn't want to go in there. I'd feel sick. But the Crooked Pub, I think there's lawsuits going on, isn't there, Dan, about the Crooked Pub?
Yeah, there is at the minute. Yeah, the pub, Sarah. Yeah. They that was all done. It was all done in one foul swoop, wasn't it? Burned and then pulled down.
Sarah, I've got to ask you a question, right? Because this is a bit of a scandal, really. Sarah, do you drive, and are you affected by the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit where you live?
I heard about that.
It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts about this, Sarah, and what kind of effect it has on the motorist. Because
you can go by miles per hour or kilometers.
Miles per hour.
Miles, yeah.
That's not even third gear. That's not even getting out of second gear, is it? 20 miles an hour.
It's a crooked house. Bryce is easy as a crooked house. And Sarah says, I'm doing. Yes, I am. What must be a pain, Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the thing, isn't it? They reckon it's going to start affecting people in Cornwall as well.
It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wouldn't that cause more problems, more pollution, more accidents?
Yep.
It's all about control, isn't it? It's all about limiting you so you can't leave your house.
You'll be told when you can drive your car next.
It's where we used to do 30 miles per hour it was a national speed limit on like built up areas. He's pulled it down to 20 mile an hour now. 20 mile an hour is awful. Now what's going to happen? I can see what's going to happen. People are going to be stuck behind somebody doing 20 mile an hour and get frustrated.
Yep.
That's going to happen a lot, and it's going to cause more accidents. And yeah, you're right, Viv. It does increase the amount of pollution.
And that's how road rage.
Oh, wow. And you're going to use up more petrol or diesel, whatever your car is.
Yeah.
You're going to use more, so it's not cost effective. I mean, it's not green, and it's not doing anything.
No. And I'm not a mechanic, but I would imagine that's not very good for your gears or your engine.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're nothing.
Really?
You get on the continent.
Oh,
get
the
Germany,
Autobahn.
it's a free for all.
The Autobahn, there's no limits, is there? You can
Bloody
really
hell, Sarah.
let rip. Wow.
Sure, I think
Crikey.
speed is 75 miles an hour.
Oh, is that on a freeway or
Highway? Yeah.
So what's that? So is that what about like built up areas where you are? What are you allowed to do mile per hour there?
In the rural, it's 35 at the most here, maybe 45 depending on where you're going.
Yeah, we normally peak about 30, don't we? 40 it goes up to.
Yeah,
Sometimes to 50, doesn't it, on a dual carriageway?
It's 30, but when there's a school when the schools are going, you have lights flashing, which means 20 miles an hour because there's children all over the place.
Yeah, which you do. Yeah, you'd adhere to anyway, wouldn't you?
Exactly. Oh my God, I can't believe this started in Wales.
Yeah.
Can you imagine it? All the prostitutes would be in their element.
That's true, Terry. It's true.
Oh, don't! Yep. I had one today. Oh, Jesus!
Wow.
Jay rang me, and I signed a petition. I don't even live in Wales.
Yeah, I'll sign it with the. I'll stand with the Welsh.
Yeah, I will as well.
It is bright.
Definitely. Well, Richard, it's different. Richard, it's different for you because of your job. Yeah, but you've got I mean, I'm sure there's allowances for you if you're chasing someone, or I don't know. Richard could tell us, but your job allows you to do certain things that I suppose a normal person couldn't.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're a police officer, you can go 100 miles an hour if you want to.
Well, we have to do that over here, and believe me, they're not even on call-outs. We had one arrested. Hey, good man, Richard. Good man. We had officers over here that got arrested for actually collecting food from the takeaway and getting it back to the station.
Really?
So it wouldn't go cold. He put his foot down, and they tried to get. But they weren't having. I think the public put their foot down as well and went, "No, we're not having this."
Yeah, we have that as well here, Robert. You're not on your own.
Yeah, we have some weird ones here. What I could never understand is you can do 30 miles an hour in a built-up area, but you can do some of these country lanes over here, which are tight, and like there's trees and everything that jump out on you. You can do 70 miles on national speed limit. It's like, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
So she can keep up. Trying 27 miles per hour speed reach briefly by.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'll sign that. Everybody sign that.
Sign that. Share that.
Please sign that.
Far and wide.
I
Even
will be
if you live
signing
in
that
America,
later.
it doesn't matter. Sign it.
Sign
Eric,
it.
you sign it. It doesn't matter. Everyone sign it. I'm going to pass that around as well.
Also, roads in Cornwall that were hardly wide. Yeah. I had my wing mirrors taken off in bloody Cornwall.
Was that your fault?
No, I was because I'm like driving Viv.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like Mr. Magoo, and I'm waddle, and and the guy came past, and I had to get over, and it caught it on the bloody the bushes. That went ping, and then he hit the other one. Bastard.
I remember on the way home from an investigation, I said to Dan,
yeah, that's really frustrating.
I said to him, do me a favour, Dan, just go a bit slower tonight. He normally poodles, but you was driving like a maniac that weekend. I don't know why. And I said, just okay. I've got a bad feeling you're going to hit something on the way home. Just slow it down. And he did. Hi, Jeanette. He did. He was ever so good. He slowed right down. And then this bloody badger runs out in the road and he hits it square on. It goes bump, bump.
It's a bloody car lifted up, didn't it? It was like...
It was so funny. Oh, it was bad for the badger, don't get me wrong. I was really sorry for the badger, but I look back and I can laugh now. But at the time, I was nearly in tears. Dan was nearly in tears. I was going, stop the car, look at the damage. He said, no damage. He said, no, just get home. He said,
I can't be bothered when it's a car, isn't it? What's that, Viv, the German? Yeah. They're mental in Germany.
I thought that they tried to put a speed ban on, like a speed limit. But I thought for these supercars, they go so fast down there anyway that no one can catch them, so they just didn't bother.
They're gone, aren't they?
They just don't bother.
That's what people buy these big flash cars they make for Germany, don't they? To flatten them out, get them flat out, you know?
I wouldn't trust the roads in Germany anyway.
No. Exactly, William. Thank you.
No, we had to go.
Exactly, William. Thank you very much.
It was a double weekend investigation back to back, little sleep.
How does that work? That's true, Sarah. How on earth does that work? That's very true. Which is a travesty.
Sarah, can you do me a favour after the show, or whenever you can? Would you post that link to my page, or private message it to me? Because I'm going to post it everywhere. For that people.
It's coming. Yep, it's coming. That's what this ULEZ is, isn't it? Your paper mile. And they pulled him. They pulled him yesterday, and they had a body of people arguing against him.
Well,
it's not paper mile. He went. You wouldn't know it is.
Yeah,
it's
but
paper mile.
Had this tire tax now. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, in America?
Yeah.
Tire tax.
Yep.
Oh, for God's sake, tire tax.
Yeah, you know how much?
Crazy.
My sticker, the sticker you get every year for the back of your license plate costs $250.
Right, I think it's time to get rid of all governments. Get rid of a lot. Just get rid of them. People can sort this shit out themselves. We don't need them telling us what to do.
Yep.
Hang on.
Definitely.
How many kids do you see on their phone texting them walking? Yeah. That's true. That's true. You don't see that either, do you? The
Or dog
Green Cross
walkers.
code.
Dog walkers making their dogs sit. That's another
No.
thing that really pisses me off, is people that have their dogs off the lead. Poor
I
old
do. When I pick the kids up from school, and you see the mums, young mums as well. They got little babies in buggies. They got the like 4 or 5 year old, whatever it is, they're picking up, and they're talking to their friends, and they walk straight out in front of you. And it's like, what's up with you?
Yeah, but Rimmer, poor old Rimmer, she's trying to walk her little ferret, and then the dogs come out of nowhere straight for the ferret. It's like, what? But anyway, there's more thing in the chat, Dan.
Yeah, Sarah says, I will. Good woman.
Good woman.
Cliff Jones says, signed and delivered. Good man.
Good man. Share
Done
it
it,
out.
Viv. Thanks, young
Thank you,
Sarah.
Sarah.
We have that. You pay to get rid of your old tyres. Yes. Yes. Tags are you're paying $250. Bloody hell.
Where are you? You're in Wisconsin, aren't you?
Yep, I'm in Wisconsin.
More expensive there than yours.
Well, we've had the window tax. We have had the window tax. He is. He's a piece of work, that man.
Oh.
Whoa.
What?
It's dead money, Sarah.
Yeah.
Dead money. They've achieved nothing with it. We had it the other day, didn't we? Where we've had it now. It's starting to happen here. We've had Birmingham Council went bankrupt, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they reckon that there's 2 or 3 now on the cusp of that game, but never ever been happened before. You look out your door now, and everything is a mess. Everything.
One of the councils went bankrupt, and they sold off their big buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
To try and claw back some money. It's just ridiculous.
Not their buildings though; they're council buildings. They block the public.
It's crazy.
Absolutely bang on the head there, Sarah. I've had people pull me back in the curb to start all in the street because I want to be all fine.
That's your age, William. Oh, look at that gorgeous.
I would like to know. I would like to know that someone can get points on driving license for a ban when they haven't got one. Do you know what I know? I know. Thurrock Council, seriously.
Thurrock. Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
It's cray. As
It's crazy.
As the kids say, it's cray.
Right, so tomorrow we are speaking to Ryan Griffiths.
I'm looking forward to that. We've not spoken to Ryan for a while.
He says that he has an exclusive for us. Thank you, Andy.
Lovely husband brings tea.
You're not lovely.
Yeah, he's a good lad, isn't he? You don't appreciate that, boy.
Oh, shut your face.
You treat him like crap.
So Ryan Griffiths is on tomorrow with an exclusive for us. So we don't know what that exclusive is. So Dan and I are very intrigued to see what he's going to be announced, because
we love Ryan. He's a nice man.
Any guys that know Ryan, he's from the Shetland Islands originally. He's a medium, an investigator, done a lot of TV work, a very good medium as well. So we're on tenterhooks here, really, aren't we, Dan? See what's going on.
Yeah, he's an all-round good egg, isn't he?
He is.
He's an all-round good egg. He's a nice man.
It's a nice brown one, nice big, extra large.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah, I can't think what they call them. Yeah, there's a name for brown. I don't know.
Oh, look at that cat!
Always beautiful. The way, Brian. I can always. Oh, look! Hello.
Gorgeous.
Meow. Meow. Hello.
Look at that
oh,
face.
Sweet.
Oh, look! John started.
Always the way, Brian.
Oh my God! You started something. You've
woken
up.
Really?
You've woken up the arsehole. He's awake now. No.
Night, William.
Night, William.
Night, William.
Where's the chocolate biscuits?
So tomorrow, yes, we got Ryan on a Simply Spooky show.
And a cat.
Why do we know? Because of the cat. Yes, my new trick. I can change into a cat in 10 minutes.
Like Mrs. McGonagall? Harry Potter? The woman turns into the cat.
John, look into the camera and say
That sounds like Rita. Was that Rita?
Yeah.
Don't sniff the light bulb, John. You'll lose your whiskers. You
Again.
idiot. He's looking straight into it.
He's like, what are you going for? Oh.
It's his crystal ball.
Well, I've got a mouse that flashes, so he tries to pounce on the
Oh,
mouse.
do you try and get? Oh, I see. This
Yeah,
is just
I have.
intriguing for him.
Keep my hand over the mouse so he doesn't see the flashing.
Mom,
Dear.
mice problem in my house, and the cats leave dead mice on my couch.
He is big.
He
He is a big boy. He's I call him a Bengali. That he's half Indian, and his Indian name is John Vinder. The only reason I call him Bengali is because he's got spots and stripes. He's not really Bengali. He's what they call a black tabby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's John. But
They're all
today,
cute. They're all cute.
John, let me chuck you down there now because I know you're going to jump on the mouse.
I can get away with doing this.
Oh, look.
Oh,
Oh, that's good.
she gives
Yeah.
kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Who is he?
John Vinder.
Yeah,
Cat.
Williams. There you go.
So next week we are going to be talking about para-unity.
We are.
And if anyone has any thoughts on para-unity, and so long as you're not in the chat, not you, Dan.
It's all bollocks, isn't it?
Oh, Ryan. Ryan. Oh, William's asked me who Ryan is.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan's a medium who he's done TV work. He's just a really nice guy, William. He's a really nice Scottish guy. Where's he comes from, Viv? He comes from the Highlands, doesn't he?
The Shetland Islands, yeah.
Shetland Islands, yeah.
Right up north. It's north.
It is. You couldn't get more Scottish than him.
And then, para-unity, what we're saying is that anyone in the chat wants to come on for a quick, to give their thoughts on para-unity, we might put the link in the chat for you guys.
Yeah, if you want to slag anybody off, please come on. We'll accept no responsibility for it, but we'd be glad that you get our numbers up.
But no, it is controversial, the word para-unity. So we will be discussing that. It will get heated, but it's only our own thoughts. So, right, shh. Told you, don't put out the secret.
He has. He's a very nice chap, William. You'll like him.
Oh, Brian wants to come on and talk about my big pussy and para-unity.
Brian can come on and talk about para-unity.
Yeah, of course you can. We'd welcome you. It's no problem. So that's what we're doing. There are shows, good shows. There are some good shows. We can talk about Annette's pussy and all, because those is bigger than mine, I should imagine. I love you, Annette. Not in a fairy cup way.
See, I used to keep chickens. I always used to make it sleep with my cock, big cock. What?
And
I'm Ginger by another guy.
you're getting told off by Rita.
Rita always tells me off.
So, there are lots of shows on the Things Network. Please catch them. There's some great shows every day of the week. We've also got some great shows on the Simply Spooky Network. Have a look on that too. We have Grizzly Chris streaming to our network as well now. So we are pleased that he decided and said yes. And we have more shows coming in. Don't forget, this Thursday, the new show at 7:00 called... He's not taking any notice.
Hey, sorry.
Elemental Kingdoms.
I'm glad you said that.
So this Thursday...
laughing at Annette.
Oh, poor Annette. Elemental Kingdoms kicks off this Thursday. It's Dan's new show. I'm just stepping in and holding the fort for Liz until she's ready to come on. I think she'll be a couple of weeks, won't she? And then she's back.
Yes, I believe she's going to be. Yeah. So yes, yes.
So when she does come on, treat her kindly. She's a nice lady, honestly.
Lovely.
And you behave yourself too, Dan.
Do you know what? Liz will keep me in. She'll keep me in line. She won't have my shit.
I don't want any bad reports from Liz.
Liz will not take any crap from me. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we'll keep Liz and get rid of you, Dan.
Oh yeah. Woohoo! Tuesday's back.
No. You ain't going anywhere, mister.
I mean, Grizzly will start a show then.
Well, why don't you?
We could do, couldn't we? I suppose.
You, Grizzly, and Eric.
Yes, the three amigos.
Oh my God.
Curly, Larry, and Mo.
The Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges. Curly, Larry, and Mo.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Oh. I love the Three Stooges.
So do I.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were geniuses. Absolute geniuses.
Dance balls.
Oh my God. Never mind property.
I love the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers. Oh, geniuses.
Yes, I think that's right, Terry. Hit the nail on
Yeah.
the head.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good one, Terry.
True as well, isn't it?
What?
I think Dan's gone a bit stir crazy because he hasn't been out investigating, but he's going on.
No.
Sunday.
Do you know what? I never realised until Viv told me it was May.
Really?
May.
I
She
know.
told me what? No. And bloody hell, she's right. It is. So we're going out Sunday for definite. Come hell or high water.
I beat you, Dan, because I took the Ovilus and my EMF meter. I took them to Transylvania with me.
You went there, yeah. While I was, yeah. That's right. So you've done it, yeah. When was that? That was
June.
June, wasn't it? So yeah, so that's good. That's good. But yeah, I can't. I just really want to get out Sunday. I can't. No,
Going
hell
out
or high
Sunday.
water is not stopping me.
We can't talk about it. Top secret place. We'll tell you about it afterwards, after the fact. So, right, we are going to end the show because we've been on an hour and 15 minutes, and I think they've had enough of our bolarks.
As soon as we came on.
Right, so we are back tomorrow night on the Simply Spooky Network. Hope you can join us for some more fun and hopefully some normality with Ryan Griffiths. But in the meantime, if you're out investigating, take care. If you're driving, especially in Wales, 20 miles an hour, just be careful and look after yourselves. But also, and equally more importantly, sign the petition. Me and Dan will, and
Definitely sign that.
we will be spreading it. So spread it around Facebook.
Just want to say, Cliff, thanks for sending me that link, Cliff. Interested. Very good. Thank you.
See
See
you
you tomorrow
tomorrow.
night.
What, no dedication? We're going to dedicate this show to somebody.
It's the one that they where there's what's his name, Mark Drayford in Wales. There's limited people driving to 20 miles an hour in built-up areas, which is ridiculous. That's like just stall your car at that speed. It's ridiculous. So there's people in Wales. The Welsh people have said we've had enough of this. We're not doing this. So they've got a petition up to contest it. So yeah, so we're all going to sign it.
Yeah.
So
And-
yeah.
Then Eric's going to sign it, and he's in Wisconsin.
Well, if Eric ever needs anything signed in Wisconsin, I'll be happy to put my name to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cheers, Cliff.
So,
I need to catch up with Cliff because I need for you and me to go and do an investigation with him at some point, Viv.
Cliff might not want to.
Not now that now that he knows us, he probably doesn't.
Yeah, maybe I saw that. Right. We shall speak to you soon, hopefully. I'm going to end this stream and just take care of one another and love to you all.
I think they should push their cars.
And thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll speak
Thanks,
to you
guys.
soon. Take care.